Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Marvel Studios X-Men 97. This is the continuation of X-Men, the animated series from the 90s, originally in 1992. Or 93, 92, I believe. And this one is like 5 years later because there were 5 seasons. So X-Men 97. We haven't seen really anything. I think at Comic-Con 2022 there may have been some teases and some stuff. But I don't really know if a whole lot's been shown. I think at this time the show was supposed to have come out. Or right around now. That's why we have the figures. There's merch in stores, things like that. But we don't know when the show is actually coming out. Disney Plus had a lot of shuffling, all kinds of crazy shit happening. We don't really know when. But we have the Marvel Legends figures, so here we have it. I got my sets. I got all 6 of the figures in the wave from ToySnowman.com. They're based in Canada. Canada gets everything first, so make sure to check it out. Last I saw, all figures were available in stock. The set was sold out, but each figure individually could be purchased. So make sure to check them out. I have a link in the video description below, which is a referral link. So for first-time buyers, when you create your account, you get 5% off coupon code and your Frost Rewards. So make sure to check them out. ToySnowman.com for your Marvel Legends needs and all your action figure needs. They're not just Marvel and Hasbro stuff. They got, you know, everything that your collecting heart desires. So here we have Bishop. Bishop was like the last one to be revealed because he is like the most new out of all the figures. Whereas, you know, the wave is pinless minus Gambit. This figure, I think, is one that is 100% new, whereas the other ones aren't going to be 100% new. Bishop is new, and he looks pretty damn awesome. So we get this new retro-style card back for X-Men 97. So we got all the X-Men there. We got the artwork for Bishop. We got the X-Men 97 logo there. Here on the back of the package, we get the cross-sell that shows the entire wave. So Magneto, Wolverine, Rogue, Storm, Bishop, Gambit. And here we go. There's no read-up. It says also blah, 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 nothing there. So let's go ahead and get Bishop out of the package. Okay, so here is Bishop out of the package, and he is a pretty good one. Definitely a solid figure. He's pinless throughout, so pinless knees, pinless elbows up here. He very clearly has an animated style to him, and that's not a bad thing in any way. It's definitely good when we kind of get that. I think we tend to see more stylized figures now when it comes to animated stuff, as we are now seeing more animated stuff happen. So we had like the Marvel's What If, the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse. Well, Into the Spider-Verse didn't so much embrace the stylized look, whereas Across the Spider-Verse figures did. We did get a comic Bishop figure by Hasbro. It was done on the Hyperion body mold. So just not a great figure. It was definitely one of the better figures in that particular wave, and that was like the Sauron Build-A-Figure wave, right? And then, you know, it was pretty good. He's got the harnesses and stuff like that, which looks pretty good. It's just I hate the Hyperion body mold, so we get a little bit of a nice touch here. You can see, you know, the animated series does take, you know, full inspiration for Bishop in his comic book look, but, you know, he has short hair this go around, and then there's not as much pouches and things like that, but looks pretty good. Again, when I say the animated like kind of style, I kind of look at the coloring, so kind of the bright yellow, the bright blue, the bright orange for the, you know, the bandana instead of, you know, the reddish color there. The holster is a little bit different. So yeah, there we go. So let's go ahead and get in for a closer look at Bishop so we can see the cool details and take a look at the articulation. Okay, so here's an up-close look at Bishop. The digital face print came out fantastic on this guy. It is so clean. It looks really damn good. And again, it's detailed, but it's not super detailed, so that's kind of another thing when it comes to like the animation. It's very smooth looking, but it does look pretty good. The digital print on the eyes, the facial hair and everything, except for maybe right there a little bit on the facial hair, but the M scar there just looks really, really good. I love the way it came out. I will do a head swap. I don't like to do head swaps, but I know people were going to ask, so I'm going to go ahead and get this over with. His head is on a dumbbell joint, by the way, so we have that there. So let's see with the comic book head sculpt if this guy will work on there. The hair, it does, but the hair definitely does not agree with how the neck position in that bandana. So while you can pop it on there, the skin tone is a little bit darker, and then he, as you could see, how it's pushed forward, and he's like constantly looking down. So it can happen, but it looks a little funky if we want to do like the comic figure with this head on there. It goes on there, but it feels like it's a little bit low on that neck. But, you know, that's an option there. if you wanted to do. So enough of the head swap shenanigan. you guys like it. I'm not a fan of it. It's just sometimes it's kind of funky for me. This one does make a little bit of sense though. But anyway, getting back to it. Again, we're pinless. We're pretty good. Check this out on the knee. They did the hinge yellow to kind of keep that yellow stripe going. It's not perfect, obviously, because it's a thicker yellow, but hey, it's something. I like that there's a little bit of consistency in the color there. So, you know, that's pretty good how that worked out. So, you know, can't complain there when there's some effort put in there. So not too shabby. Just dark blue boots, you know, pinless there, big pouch there. Yeah. Not a whole lot going on, but looks pretty good. You know, all these bands and everything, those are all part of the sculpt. So that is good. This isn't like a rubber piece that's going to come down eventually. It's all in there, so it's not a problem. The shoulder pads, you know, aren't going to get in the way of anything, as you could see. It doesn't actually even move with the arm, but it's on there, and to the point where it's not going to move around. So that's pretty good. You know, you're not going to pull it off or anything like that. The bandana does not come off. It's glued up top here, so there's no pulling that off. Like if you really wanted to, you could pop the glue. That's not something that I'm going to be doing, but that's something that you could try. Paint looks pretty clean. Gets a little fuzzy in there. It's not too bad. And then the yellow over the blue gets a little wonky in some areas, and you might see a little bit of correction paint in some areas where they may have fixed up a little something. It's not terrible, but you can notice it in some areas. But overall, not too shabby. The accessories, he comes with 2 trigger finger hands, which is cool. But like his left hand, it's not a trigger finger, but you could put the gun in his hand and the finger basically goes on the trigger. So was it super necessary to get the trigger finger? I don't know, maybe. Seems kind of odd. He does come with the gun, and it does look a little cheap. It's just gray plastic, nothing special. The sculpt of it looks pretty good. It's not like this massive gun like the comic one was, as you could see here. Big difference. Comic one is like huge and everything like that. So, you know, quite a bit different. But hopefully, this is exactly how it looks in the cartoon. Remember, it is a cartoon made for kids, whereas adults are probably going to be watching the hell out of it. It's still, you know, for kids. I mean, you should keep that in mind. Yeah, so the trigger finger hand, it does go on there. And I guess the good thing is it has the vertical hinge, whereas the other one has the horizontal hinge, so it's going to fit in the hand just like so. This is a little rubbery, so it's not too bad. Nothing to be too concerned with, but just a heads up on that. But again, here on that grip hand, it essentially works too. You just have the wrong hinge on there. But there you go. And I guess it falls out pretty easily. Okay, so articulation. So head is on a dumbbell joint, so looking up is a little bit of an issue. Looking down, not nearly as much as you can see there. You do get some crazy pivot in that head since it's a dumbbell joint. Full rotation in that neck. Arm you can get to go straight on out like so. Full rotation in there. So the shoulder pad here, it is rubbery, so if you kind of hit it and get in the way, it's not going to stop it. But just, you know, be a little bit careful, I would say. Upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed pinless elbow gives you that much bend there at the elbow. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge. The grip hand and the fist have the standard horizontal hinge. The 2 trigger finger hands, the right and the left, both have the vertical hinge, which is good. We have an ab crunch on Bishop, so he can only crunch forward that much. That's not a whole lot. So that's straight up. That is forward there. Going back is a little bit, as you can see there. You got the waist swivel in there. That belt is not going around anywhere, so that is pretty good. It moves easily, you know, with the figure. Legs go out that far apart. He's got some thick-ass legs. He can kick forward only that far. You could push it upwards that much, but you're kind of pulling it out when doing that. Upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee, so you get that much bend there at the knee. You got the boot swivel in there. Foot hinges down, you get some hinge up, and they sculpted the boots to where the top of the foot is not going to get in the way, so it does allow for the motion to get the hinge up, which is cool. So hinge down, hinge up, ankle pivot, pegals at the bottom of the feet. So pretty good articulation, much better looking than the Hyperion body mold, because again, the Hyperion body mold just kind of sucks. So there is another look at the 2 of them. Okay, so for some side-by-side comparisons, since he is the first of the X-Men 97 figures that I'm opening, I pulled out some of my VHS ones. I didn't bring out the ones that were just not as good, right? I think Wolverine, Cyclops, Morph were the best ones of those cell shaded figures for the X-Men, the animated series. So I think that's the only reason why I brought those on. Those are the best ones. The other ones aren't nearly as good and aren't as great as to show, you know, animated series look more specific. They were just kind of repaints of the comic stuff to make it work. Whereas at least Wolverine had like a new head sculpt, and Cyclops was all new. Morph was, you know, essentially all new for the most part. So that's why I brought them out. So animated series figures coming together nicely. Bishop does not have cell shading, which I think is better. Again, not as big a fan of cell shading. So it's nice that these ones in this wave do not have any of them. But yeah, they're going to look really good together regardless. It'd be better if there was no cell shading at all. But, you know, this wave, those 6 figures with Bishop, those are going to look pretty good. I don't know if it's just going to be these 6 figures or if we're going to see more, if there's going to be a second wave, third wave, deluxe figures or anything like that. So far, it's just the 6 for the X-Men 97 series. I can't wait till we actually see more about it. To get a better idea of what the show's going to be about, which characters we're really going to see. I know Magneto is in this wave, but he's going to have a different look, so it's kind of weird that we're going to get this one. So a couple of things going on with that. I've been hearing that Bishop is going to be kind of one of the more popular from the wave that people are looking to order based on comments and stuff that I had seen. Of course, the Wolverine is going to be a big seller, but Bishop, I think, is going to be a very popular one. So you guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this Bishop figure? I think it's pretty damn good. His gun's a little small, but maybe that's how it's going to be in the animated series, so it's going to make sense. But I think, you know, Hasbro gave us something pretty good with this figure. You know, we don't... When it's new sculpting and everything like that, it's really nice. We don't have repaints and, you know, reuse things and stuff like that. So I'm all for it. You guys let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Don't forget to check out toysnowman.com to get your orders in. If you like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that join button to become a channel member. Be a part of the MCU Collective to show support for the channel. And as always, thank you for watching.